Jesus doesn't like hypocrites, pure and simple. And there are a lot of hypocrites in the church today. I'm going to talk about the church. Forget the political scene, forget other religions. In the church, there are a lot of hypocrites. And we have to take a look in. That's why we begin Mass with what we call the penitential rite, because we each have to look inside and say, am I really living up to my faith? Today the theme is martyrdom. Am I really being a witness, which is what the word martyr means, to my faith? And St. Timothy, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful pastoral letter, talks about the necessity of giving good example to our youth. Now we have Mishka and Timko in here serving today. And that's a good example because it's like Timothy is talking to us who are obligated to give them examples. Example of proper conduct, faith, love, and purity. And that's not only their parents. It's all of us as a community. On Sunday we're many more people than we are on a weekday Mass, but it still is our example. And I guess here in this particular building, church, it starts there. It starts at the altar. So the priest has to give the example of proper faith, purity, love, and conduct and speech, because there are children at Mass that need our example. So think about that outside. Think about that when you're in traffic. Think about that when you're at home. Whoever the children are in your realm, or the young people in your realm. It doesn't have to be your own biological children. It's anyone who is young. Because our young people today are so bombarded by confusing topics and ethics and misguided ethics. So bombarded. And if we, the Christian leaders, and all of us are Christian leaders, we're baptized Christians, that's it. We don't give proper example, we're being hypocrites. And that dovetails right into the saints of the day, Cyprian and Cornelius. This is 3rd century, 250. So the church was not perfect right from the beginning. We had problems. The problem that rose up in this area, and these saints are from North Africa, so they are African saints. Cyprian is from Carthage, North Africa, so he's one of the first African saints we have. The controversy was that Christians who were baptized Christians, fearing martyrdom, went over to the other side. They went over to the dark side, you might say. And they worshipped idols and did their thing politically to save their lives. See, politics runs rampant in the church and the world, and it sometimes controls us. So they were apostatized. They were thrown out of the church. They weren't regarded as Christians anymore. They couldn't come to the Eucharist. They couldn't come to the sacraments. None of them. Now, when that was over, that period of apostasy, there was a group of people that said they are condemned, they can never come back to the church. Cyprian and Cornelius steps up and they say, no, with proper penance, we can forgive them and bring them back. Now that sounds like a 3rd century heresy, 3rd century story. It's not. There are hypocritical Catholics who are in very front page positions that mock the Catholic Church as they are proclaiming to be Catholic. I'm not going to name any names. But they promote death, the culture of death. They promote abortion. They promote changing your gender from what God created you to be. They promote abortion, euthanasia. And in promoting abortion, and the statistics can bear us out, most abortions are performed for people of color. So what they're doing besides that is they're also exhibiting their prejudice toward our sisters and brothers of color. Some of whom are in a lesser socioeconomic position than the rest of us. And their reasons are their reasons. But by promoting that, you're promoting prejudice, you're promoting debt, you're promoting hypocrisy. And then, and here's the top point of it, then they're front line receiving the Eucharist. And that makes headlines. You know that makes headlines. You could read the paper. You could look at your Twitter feeds. You could look at Facebook. That makes headlines. Now, they're strong political leaders, regrettably. Some of them are up there. They know, you know who they are. They know who they are. And with audacity, receive the Eucharist, promoting and disagreeing with Catholic teaching, promoting their own agenda, specifically, when does life begin? Our faith says life begins at conception. Pure and simple. Biology. God gave us the ability to produce life. Man and woman in love have a child. At the moment of conception, that child in utero is a person. He may not look like a person, looks like an amoeba, but he's still a person. That's how all of us started. And when you promote death to that child, even after, and some states promote, even after the child who was attempted to be aborted is alive, you can kill him. And then that leader goes to church and receives the Eucharist. Hypocrisy beyond hypocrisy. And it sends shockwaves through the church. Because what it does, because the political role of these people is they tend to divide. There's no division on these topics in the church. Life is life. And this garbage about my body, my rights is more garbage. It's part of the garbage that the young people today are being taught in their politically correct schools. Yes, it is your body, but the child within your body, and this is to women, the child in your body is also of you, but it's not your body, it's your child. It's God's gift to you because you have the ability to procreate with your spouse. But to say, oh, I can get rid of it, it's only a blob. No. You can say that, and of course that's your political choice, but you can't say that and be a Catholic, because that's hypocrisy. Now, going back to Cornelius and Cyprian, they're outside the church. And I know bishops are in a very precarious situation. If they come out and condemn these characters, they're wrong. If they come out and allow it to go on, they're wrong. See, they're caught. But it's the conscience of the individuals I'd like to talk about. Those who do this hypocritical action. They're the ones who are pulling themselves out of the church. You can wear as many crosses and you can cross yourself as many times as you wish, but if you're acting anti-church, anti-Christ, anti-faith, you're anti. Pure and simple. You're not part of it. Now, Cyprian's problem was, if they repent, they're our brothers and sisters. As weak and as stupid as they were, we got to bring them back. And that was the controversy. He won the controversy. There were a whole bunch of people against him, but he won. Go to 21st century. I don't know where these guys and women will go, faith-wise. Will they come back to the church and sit in the pew? The church says you're welcome back if you do penance. And yes, their penance could be private in the confessional. Their penance could be public any way they want. But they have to perform penance because they gave scandal to the church and the world, and they acted as hypocrites, and desecration of the Eucharist. There's no worse sin. To take the Eucharist as a political game so people think you're religious, that's baloney. And I can only say baloney because I'm in church. You know what it really is. So the political system and the church have never really been side by side. But that's all right. We're in the church, And the church is in the world, but not of the world. That's why these guys went to their martyrdom, their deaths. They refused to be of the world, the political, pagan, Roman world that they were living in. And eventually they were martyred, Cyprian and Cornelius. So early in the church that they're in the Eucharistic prayer that we call the Roman canon, which is the first Eucharistic prayer. So as we sit by Jesus and watch him make a spectacle of the Pharisee, let's stay with Jesus. Let's wash each other's feet. Let's forgive each other. Let's love each other. And please stop acting like hypocrites. That's to all of us in the church. Because we're not here for ourselves. We're here to carry on Christ's work of life, faith, and charity.